The Board of County Commissioners workshop will convene. I'll turn it over to Roger for opening comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioners, as you'll recall, it's been a better part of a month ago, we had a workshop on toll facilities, and I wouldn't try to convince you that we hit the nail on the head with that one, so we're back. It seems like there was a lot of unintended consequence. So I think we got it right this time. And so I'll just ask Dave to get right to it if that's okay.
Great.
Okay, Dave, go ahead.
Thank you, Roger. Good afternoon, Commissioners. As Roger said, we're going to talk about tolls today. I'd like to do a quick, go over the agenda real quickly. We're going to do talk a little recap about our April 6th workshop discussion. Want to talk a little bit about the administrative fee, resuming the $3 administrative fee that was suspended in May of 2020. Talk a little bit about the discount program, a little bit about what we discussed at the April 6th workshop, some of the revenue impacts that we're looking at, and we'll follow it up with questions. So what we want to ask you today is, do you want to resume the $3 admin fee to customers who do not pay by transponder? And again, that was suspended in March of 18th of 2020. We also want to have a discussion about pursuing motorcycle discount program to be consistent with the FDOT SunPass. We also have some more information on that, and we'll get into that as we move forward. So just to do a real quick recap, at the April 6th workshop, the board agreed to continue with all electronic toll collection. You also agreed to provide, for us to continue to provide free transponders to the community. We had a discussion about, first, looking at finding a facility in the city of Cape Coral. That morphed into the discussion of finding a way to have a leeway account where our customers can go online, sign up, and also get a transponder. That went live on May of 27, and currently we have 210 people that have signed up for this. Another discussion we had on the 6th was the communication plan. Just to let you know what we did prior to this meeting, we sent out information highlighting this presentation to all the municipalities. We also sent it out to the Chamber of Commerce, to the City of Cape Coral, City of Sanibel, as well as the Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce. Randy Searcy, the lead DOT director, and I had the opportunity to attend a workshop on transportation in Cape Coral, where we did talk about tolls as well with the community. What our plan will be following today's meeting is to have a robust communication plan, depending on what decisions are made today. We will not enact anything until October when we start to renew our transponders. Any decisions today will be enacted in October, and it will give us plenty of time to develop a communication plan to our community. And finally, just a real quick analysis of some of the discount programs that we were talking about April 6th. You asked for a few questions to be answered, so we'll highlight a few of those today. Again, just a little bit more of a recap. Since you've already approved electronic tolling, part of the question, or part of the emphasis behind it is why do that? Pretty much it maximizes the technology that we already have in place. We will have to do a one-time cost improvement to enhance our equipment, but it maximizes what we have in place. This also mirrors changes that SunPass has done throughout the state, so it makes us consistent with the state program as well. And the final two bullets, it enhances driver employee safety, and we'll show you a video here in a few minutes that gives a little bit more of that, and it eases traffic congestion. The last bullet is really important because that's an issue that this board has brought to us and wanted us to look at how can we ease traffic congestion. We believe that what we're proposing today, or what you've already approved in the 6th, does that. So as you can see in the top corner, that's westbound going into Cape Coral. That's pre-COVID. That's before we suspended the tolls. We had 3 lanes of traffic merging into the 2 lanes on the bridge. You can see on the bottom, and by the way, this was taken a year apart, so same amount of traffic, roughly about 3,000 cars on both days. So you can see how the traffic eases in or merges into on the bottom, much smoother than they do on top. On the far right, you can see this is eastbound into the toll plaza. You can see the lanes stacking up. And on the bottom, you can see just the one lane as the 3 lanes are closed. Another question that was brought up during that meeting is travel time. Has it reduced travel time? As you can see on the Cape Coral Bridge, it's reduced travel time by 43 seconds. That is significant if you have a 5 or 6 minute wait on the bridge, which is typically during the peak. And by the way, those videos were at 5 p.m. peak hour, by the way. I apologize for not mentioning that earlier. And on the Midpoint Bridge, you can see it's a 1:26 reduced time. The difference between the two, obviously, is the Cape Coral Bridge is much narrower, and we have less of a footprint there. At our May 18th work session, you have also talked about moving forward with tiers, and you included those colonial alternatives, widening Midpoint and widening Cape Coral Bridge. That'll also help reduce these times when that comes online. So resume charging the admin fee. As you can see, we're proposing the exact same fee structure that was in place before COVID. The only difference here that we have is there will not be any cash toll takers, but we will have the free transponder available per your direction. The administrative fee goes to pay for license plate identification, invoicing, additional postage. So that's what the administration fee went for prior to COVID and what it will be post-COVID or as we move forward. So the discount programs, we had 3 that we discussed with you, again, at the April 6th workshop. What we want to talk about today, we do not want to move forward with eliminating the variable pricing or consistent discount program charge. We heard and understand your concerns. What we do want to talk about a little bit is the motorcycle discount and why it's important to even consider this. For us, for the county, part of the problem, not even in the county, it's pretty much a national issue. The equipment cannot read the tag. It can't differentiate between a car and a motorcycle. That takes a manual process. Therefore, you don't see that process with SunPass or EasyPass. It's a straight fee, the same cost as a car. You have to manually do that whichever system you have, and that's the problem we're faced with. Also, as we said, it's consistent with what SunPass is doing, and I pretty much explained why that would be. So that would be the only discount we would like for you to consider today, and that's the rationale behind some of our thought process.
So Dave, may I please?
Yes.
Commissioners, on this issue of eliminating the motorcycle discount and the system not being able to differentiate between a car and a motorcycle, that could actually be programmed into the transponders, except that if you buy a transponder at Publix or somewhere else, an electronic transponder, you can transfer that from one car to something else. And so somebody, not accusing anyone in this room, but somebody could take a motorcycle transponder and put it in their car. The system would not know the difference, and they'd end up getting the discount. So that becomes the problem. It is otherwise a manual process to try and figure out motorcycle versus car.
And to that point, thank you, Roger, I forgot that point. Another portion, another problem that we have with this as well is SunPass and EasyPass, again, do not have that discount. So when those users go through our tolls, they're expecting a discount, they call us. There's really nothing we can do to change that because obviously they're with a different user. So just wanted to show you what the net revenue projections are. With the cash toll collection, with just cash, when the baseline prior to COVID, we were at just about 52 million. If you go all electronic, just resuming the administrative fee, we're about 53.5 to about $54 million. If you implement and remove the discount for the motorcycle program, roughly the same, not much of a difference. I just want to be transparent on this for everyone. There's some concern about the additional revenue that we're going to receive through this. We do currently have an agreement with the City of Cape Coral. With that agreement, 40% of that goes to the City of Cape Coral, 60% goes to the county, but 100% of those dollars go towards corridor upgrades. So all the things that you have put into Tier 1, when you talk about the widening of Cape Coral Bridge, the widening of Midpoint Bridge, the overpass of Summerlin to Colonial, all in Phase 1, all those are eligible for those additional dollars, and they go to the additional dollars for toll reserve. Burnt Store, which is in Phase 2, is also eligible. And in Phase 3, you incorporated the overpass for Santa Barbara onto veterans, and that also is eligible for those dollars as well. And back to our questions. Do you want to resume charging the $3 admin fee to customers who do not pay by transponder? Again, that was suspended March 18th, 2020 due to COVID. And do you want to pursue the motorcycle discount charge to be consistent with FDOT and SunPass?
Mr. Chair, that's our presentation. If you have questions or discussion you'd like to have?
Sure. Board?
Those are recommendations.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Dave, what was the date for people can start getting their free transponders? Was it October, you said?
No, the free transponders happened, I don't know the exact date, but we've been doing it for a while. We did a promotion during, following, right pre-COVID? June 7th, we did free transponders, so you can get them now, and including, you reaffirmed that at the last workshop.
And Commissioner, we, almost immediately following our last workshop on this topic, we made transponders available online.
And the campaign, the public information we're going to put out there to the public, let everybody know what's going on. In what aspect would that be used? Like digital media, social media? What kind of media do we use for that?
You just named them all. We will do social media. Matter of fact, why don't I ask Chris Brady to touch on that, because she can give you a better answer than I can.
Good afternoon. Yes, as Dave started to mention, that we would be looking at traditional media, so our news outlets, preparing information from them, but we would also be looking at our social platforms as well as our electronic newsletter, and probably some videos that might provide some additional information that shows you what the changes are, but more importantly, how to access the system online so that people know exactly where to go to sign up for information, as well as updating, making any additional updates to our website, of which we've made a few starting today, but there's some more to come.
Great. That, I think is the most important thing about this whole process is we get the correct information out to the public so they understand. Otherwise, the headlines will be written something differently. So, and it's great to see the mayor of Cape Coral and Sample here today to see this. I think they'll be great partners in helping us spread the good news to the community, and they'll be a great advocate for us on this whole program if they're supportive of this.
I got a chance to look at the website. It's neat, very easy to see that button to sign up for a free transponder sticker was right there on the website. Looks like it's an easy process. So thanks for getting that up already. And I mean, to me, if I'm hearing it correctly, it sounds like there's definitely an easy option if you don't want to pay the $3 service fee, is to just sign up online for the free sticker, and you get the sticker and you don't have to worry about that. As part of your communications plan, do y'all also intend to use like the road signs? Because I kind of wonder if that might not even be the most effective method that will get the people who are using that corridor regularly. They could see a sign, a road sign, warning them, hey, starting October, the fee comes back or something like that.
Our renewal season is October, November, and we have those big variable message boards as you approach the tolls. We can put those up there and announce this as well ahead of that.
Any,
I had some questions from last time, and not that I ever doubt the expertise of the state, but I always find out the source I was back in the media. Because I was concerned about the technology and stuff. I didn't realize that these systems have been in place since 1959. So I just wanted that assurance that we weren't reinventing the wheel or so on and so forth. Two other questions I had was, there's always somebody out there that can game the system. And when you put your numbers up, is there an estimation that there's a certain percentage that are going to be able to figure a way around the system, whatever that may be? And is that reflected in the numbers that we saw today? It's a guess at best. Third thing was, I was concerned about this being administrative heavy, where you have to have somebody check a plate and go on and do that. And the other thing, last thing was the interface between the states. Can you put a transponder up and, like the interstate system, go anywhere? And I know that's in progress. there's 3 or 4 different systems and stuff, so I hope at some point we can just plug it in and go. So those were the only questions I had, or concerns.
So, Randy, on the issue of gaming the system and collections,
The leakage and loss was figured into the numbers we posted here.
Commissioner, you went pretty quick. Wait, can you hit us one at a time here?
Tell me?
You had, I think, 4 concerns.
Well, the technology's there. Randy answered that question. My only concern was the administrative burden of trying to look at a plate, determine the plate, the follow-up is.
Yes, sir, and that's the purpose for the $3 administrative fee for people who do not use a transponder to pay for that
I
process.
have 2 transponders, EasyPass and SunPass, so I kind of understand the system. And then the other thing, and not that we're going to solve with here today, is getting to that point where you have 1 transponder in your car and you could go freely, because we obviously have more people coming here and visiting, and makes it easy for everybody.
So I have a couple of questions. At our last meeting, and I certainly had you all come to my office and talk about this, we talked about integrating EasyPass into our system. So I think we have a short-term issue, if I would identify it that way. Currently, obviously, because of COVID, we have people going through the tolls, and it's a challenge to obviously capture their plate, try to bill them, try to collect it, do the mailing process. But as we integrate SunPass and EasyPass, if I heard you correctly, Dave, neither have the ability to capture a motorcycle at a discounted rate. So as we embrace technology, okay, and we're able to obviously bring more people in, I think the stat, if my memory serves correctly, that there's about 43 million people that are on EasyPass. So the integration of those systems enable us to obviously capture and have less of a collection rate, because as more people have, as you're indicating, going to one type of, I do have an EasyPass. It's one I've kept. I've been down here now 18 years, but I still have an EasyPass. It's very easy to keep. They do charge an administration fee to keep and do. But as the integration takes place, maybe a couple things. Commissioner Hammond talked about notifying people. I mean, May 27th, we went live on a website to let people know you can apply online. Whatever we can do between now and October to promote that. I know we also talked about embracing and bringing the rental companies into this fold. So when I rent cars and I'm on the road, there's always a transponder there. Again, what we're trying to do is avoid not having the ability to have a debit card, a credit card, so we have an easy way to collect, in many other states. Do you envision what type of time frame for tomorrow? Because if we're looking big picture and we're going to integrate with EasyPass, it really becomes a really difficult task to embrace EasyPass and then somehow carve out this motorcycle discount that we want to have. If we're thinking big picture, we're looking long term, aren't we really forced into a situation, if we want to gain the mass, that we have to really go by the rules that are set by others that obviously capture a lot more people than we do? Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, it is. We currently accept EasyPass. We are currently working with EasyPass for what date for them to accept our transponders? We're still working through that, but currently we accept EasyPass. But you are correct, that is a difficulty when both EasyPass and SunPass do not offer those discounts. When you're going through the toll, their expectation is when they see what you do, that they're looking for that.
I know at the workshop, the last workshop, it was indicating that our goal is to try to have them integrate by October when renewal comes. And I know that's a big challenge, but it also enables us to go through, have the efficiencies, because as they become integrated, I can tell you the beauty of traveling when I do travel up in the Northeast is I can go from Delaware to Pennsylvania to New Jersey to New York and just have one transponder. And they always find where I am, it's pretty easy. And with the EasyPass, you have to have a credit card or a debit card on file. And since they have so many people, I'm just thinking long term, as much as I want to preserve a discount for people, if we're thinking big picture, we're trying to take advantage of technology, because SunPass might have a couple 100,000 people, maybe 400,000 or 500,000. We're talking about 43 million integrating into this. If we really want to embrace the big picture, we really have to go forward with this. I mean, as much as I'm as cheap as the next person, I don't want to pay a dime more than I have to, but if we're really going to try to look at technology, I think preserving the discount program, preserving the variable time is important, but I don't know that I want to spend the necessary dollars with technology to try to have our carve-out in a very sophisticated system that has 43 million people, and now find a way to bill X number of people for their motorcycle, because everyone else charges the same fee in that. So I think we just have to look at this holistically as opposed to, very singular. I mean, that's just my take on the meetings that we've had.
Yep, that's correct. That's the best way to explain it, is just trying to be consistent with the other entities. Currently, if you are a Leeway user and you're going through SunPass, you go Leroy Selman, it's just a straight shot, no issues. And that's what you're talking about when we talk about Easy Pass. You're looking at a global concept of being able to move that way and having the correct and administrative component behind it.
We still have integration work to do, is that correct? Great. Do we have any idea about how long we think that's going to take?
It's going to be at least up, I would think, this fall. We're working hard to have our transponders read in the Easy Pass 17, 18 states that are up there, but we're getting there. But that transponder may not be free, I can tell you that now. Maybe there may be a cost to that, but we can cross that bridge when we come to it.
And, as I'd indicated earlier, it's actually 23 states as an Easy Pass, but I do pay a monthly fee, and that's what they charge. It's $1, but I paid a one-time fee, and I pay $1 from an administrative point of view to keep it active, whether I use it or I don't. But it really does, if we're going to look at technology, I think, and we're going to look into the future, because we're always going to have a collectible problem if we don't have people in the tolls. By having more free transponders, more people online, and integrating Easy Pass, we have a greater probability of less of an uncollectible balance.
So as soon as we have a better idea of the timing on integration, we will report back to you.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I appreciate the points you made too. I had one more question I wanted to ask on, so it looks like, we're going to charge that $3 per transaction admin fee for the people who go through by plate. That is to pay for license plate identification, invoicing, and postage. How did we come up with the $3 figure?
Randy?
The $3 fee was based on, well, let me say this. The average person that does not have a transponder that goes through the tolls and pays, that fee works out to $3.81. That's out-of-state lookup, labor for image review, mail house services, postage, credit card fees of 2.2%, labor and invoice processing, IT labor for equipment and equipment software maintenance. Again, the average person that goes through our tolls without a transponder goes through 2 times a month type thing. That works out to a charge of $3.81. Naturally, the people that go more, it would be less, so that's where we came up with the $3 fee. Actually, for the average person, it's not quite enough.
Okay, so and it's $3.81 each time they go through? Is
No, that's what the average works out to, based on all of our costs put into it.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so the average person who goes through pay by plate without a transponder goes through 2 times a month?
Right.
And the cost to bill them and look up their plate, bill them and postage and everything like that works out to $3.81?
Right.
But we're going to collect $3 per trip?
Correct.
Okay, so what will we do with the excess above the $3.81?
Again, I'm not sure there's an excess there. Again, the average person we're losing. Then, if the other folks are making up the difference, so it probably works out to right about $3 our cost. I'm not sure we're profiting on the invoice fee.
Roger, could Pete answer that question?
Yeah, Pete, go ahead.
Commissioner, if I could, the $3 is a fee that's based on a revenue projection that is neutral. So that even though this is a forecast, but we may not collect, exactly 1.6 million more. It's a forecast intended to be revenue neutral based on the $3 fee and the percentage of folks who do not pay their toll if they're tolled by plate.
And what, so let's say it does work out though in our favor and we do end up collecting more revenue. In the forecast showed slightly more revenue. What is that new revenue or extra revenue going to go towards?
That would go toward the projects in the quarter,
The quarter,
Projects.
as the surplus is now.
So like the things that we've been talking about, adding lanes to the Cape Bridge, adding lanes to the Midpoint Bridge, and potentially even an overpass at Santa Barbara and
Correct.
Veterans? Okay.
It would be surplus revenue subject to the 60/40 split, and then expenditures related to the tollways.
Okay.
so that would, we would work with the city of Cape Coral, that all comes into an agreement, so we both agree on what projects would happen, which are typically within that corridor, and it encompasses all those projects we just added to our tiers.
So it's not like a business where it would go to like shareholders or salaries or something like that. It's actually going to go into projects if we do
Correct.
end up with a surplus. Okay.
That number's just north of $375 million. About a third of our CIP is on these corridors.
Wow.
And I'm going to assume as we integrate these other programs, there's going to be less and less revenue that we'll collect from that because more will be integrated. So this is, again, if you look at big picture, long-term, as we have this integration with EasyPass on both sides, we'll have less manual chasing of administration.
Right.
That is correct.
So
That's
this
the
is
goal.
a 6 to 12-month type of situation where we will be able to measure the true adjustments associated with the integration of these facilities. And to Commissioner Hammond's point, both Cape Coral and Sanibel will benefit with obviously excess dollars because the splits are 60/40 and 21/79. So, and we also will just put it back in the roadway. So to Commissioner Hammond's point, we have some significant challenges in front of us with additional roads on bridges and things of that nature. So if this is a way to potentially lighten and/or eliminate any type of toll increases, I think we're all in favor of doing that now.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
So Commissioner, to the community, we heard from a lot of people after the last workshop, there is no increase in the tolls, and transponders are now free.
One last question.
Yes, sir.
For my little retiree in Alva who goes once a year to see his ophthalmologist in Cape Coral, summarize for me, staff, what he's going to experience differently
Get a free transponder.
for his once a year.
Doesn't matter. Why not?
If he didn't do that, what would happen to him? What would he experience when he got to the bridge?
He would,
$5.
$5.
he would travel through just as anybody else would.
And he
They
gets
wouldn't
his
have to
picture
stop.
took in the back of his car and
It's a bill for $5.
he gets a bill for
Correct.
$5?
Yes, sir.
Or he can get a transponder for $3 if he thinks about it, but he's not going to think about it.
Gonna give them away for free, Frank.
I'm not suggesting that. I'm just wanting to know when he calls me, when I'm going to tell him to anticipate.
Yes, sir. It's going to cost $5. If you get a transponder, it's going to cost them $3.
Your copay is another $5 now for that doctor visit. Thank you.
I mean, I think if we're gonna look at the long term, it's something we need to embrace and move forward with. I look forward to the integration of EasyPass
Yes, sir.
and making this a lot easier for us. I'm not for raising any motorcycle or eliminating a discount, but I am into integrating these programs, and that's what's essential. Any other?
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
we will have this back to you on an agenda report in 1 week. And the agenda report will just codify the continuation of electronic toll collection, reinstating the $3 admin fee, and eliminating the motorcycle discount, which then they will be charged $2. Did I get it all, guys?
I
Yes.
had a quick question. Maybe staff can answer this question. Kind of like Commissioner Mann's question. We have a lot of guests, a lot of tourists coming here, and they rent cars like at the airport. Does all the cars at the airport or rental cars usually have a transponder on them, or do we offer that to them? Because somebody, if they come here from out of state or out of town, they're not aware of the transponder issue. It's like the one person in Alva that goes there once a year, they're going to get that fee. I know they're going to collect it through their billing process, but do we offer the transponders to those cars?
We do. We have a company that does that disperses transponders to rental car companies. But what they charge is up to them. We can't control what the rental car company charges the renter of a car.
The bad news, Cecil, to your point, is when I travel, I bring my own Easy Pass, because if I use the rental cars, they charge me an administration fee on top of, it's pretty hefty, what the rental car companies do, and that's their discretion.
Thank you.
Staff, any other direction you need from us?
And just to be clear, if you bring that to us next week, that doesn't mean it starts next week. That means all of this is October timeframe, so people have plenty of time to get geared up and make plans for if they've got to adjust their lifestyle or their, sign up for an account and that kind of stuff.
The only thing that starts right away is people can get their free transponder stickers online,
That's
And
going
the
right.
communication element will start
right away.
as soon as we go through this next
Yes, sir.
meeting? Okay, great. So we'll have multiple months to get in front of this. And the signs are very effective that you referred to. I mean, we used them quite a different ways in the past when I was in Sanibel. So they're very effective. With nothing else, I'll call for an adjournment.
Thank you,
all.
Commissioners.